Hello and welcome back to UIE TV. Please like and subscribe to channel to get further videos directly in your inbox.
Our assessment is that we should now squeeze that brake pedal in order to keep the virus under control. On Saturday, the 1st of August, you'll remember we had hoped to reopen in England a number of the higher risk settings that had remained closed. And today, I'm afraid we're postponing those changes for at least a fortnight. That means until the 15th of August at the earliest, casinos, bowling alleys, skating rinks and the remaining close contact services must remain closed. Indoor performances will not resume. Pilots of larger crowds in sports venues and conference centres will not take place, and wedding receptions of up to 30 people will not be permitted, but ceremonies, of course, can continue to take place in line with COVID secure guidelines. And I know that the steps that we're taking will be a real blow to many people, to everyone, obviously, whose wedding plans have been disrupted or who cannot now celebrate Eid in the way that they would wish. And I'm really, really sorry about that, but we simply cannot take the risk. We will, of course, study the data carefully and move forward with our intention to open up as soon as we possibly can. We will also extend the requirement to wear a face covering to other indoor settings where you're likely to come into contact with people you do not normally meet, such as museums, galleries, cinemas, and places of worship. We now recommend face coverings are worn in these settings, and this will become enforceable in law from the 8th of August.
Coronavirus, lockdown easing on hold as shielding ends. People shielding against coronavirus can now leave their home and return to work as a further easing of lockdown restrictions in England is postponed. More than 2 million at high risk will no longer need to isolate in most of England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. But charity Macmillan Cancer Support has said people in the shielded group do not feel safe. It comes after the PM applied the brakes to easing restrictions further and as some businesses remain closed. Labour said it supported the government's decision but criticised the initial lack of detail in Thursday evening's announcement about the tightening of restrictions for parts of the north of England. Elsewhere, Graham Medley, a member of the Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies, SAGE, which advises the government, has said England could have to consider closing pubs in order to reopen schools in September. It might come down to a question of which do you trade off against each other, and then that's a matter of prioritising. Do we think pubs are more important than schools? He told BBC Radio 4's Today programme. Meanwhile, a new report suggests more than half of the people furloughed during the pandemic are now back at work, as companies begin contributing to the costs. When lockdown began in March, those considered extremely clinically vulnerable, an estimated 2.2 million people in England, were advised to stay at home, or shield, to avoid contracting COVID-19. People in high-risk categories include those who have had an organ transplant, are receiving immunosuppressant drugs, undergoing chemotherapy and radiotherapy, or have severe respiratory conditions. Now, they can return to work if they cannot work from home and as long as their workplace is COVID secure. It is still advised they maintain social distancing when outside. From Saturday, those who were shielding in England, Scotland and Northern Ireland will no longer receive food boxes and medicine deliveries from the government. But shielding advice remains in place for Blackburn, with Darwin in the northwest of England, Leicester, and Luton, and the most vulnerable will continue to shield in Wales for another 2 weeks. Steve Byrne from Macmillan Cancer Support said the organisation had written to the government over concerns shielders are having to make the impossible choice between their health and their job. People in the shielded group are telling us that they are just not feeling safe, she told the BBC, adding that government needs to ensure the necessary protections are in place for people returning to work.
Thanks for watching Universal Information and Entertainment TV. Please like and subscribe our channel for more updated videos, news, information and entertainment. See you in next video. Stay tuned.